Doug, it's time to rock. It's the second time in a week I've been here. I've had the privilege to hang out with you. Brad, what's up, brother?
I'm doing good, bro. How are you?
Not bad, not bad. Before I jumped on, I had a look at our channel. Did you see the amount of hits we got for our midweek Clapton show, bro?
Yes, you told me. Yes, I did. I did notice that. Yeah, it's what? When did we go live with that? Thursday.
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah.
We had 1,000 hits already. So thank you everyone for tuning in. That was great. That was a good show too,
Uh,
Andrew. Fun.
well, look, obviously Clapton's a big influence in a lot of people's lives. So clearly we're not the only two people in the world that's really celebrating these last couple of events with Eric Clapton, eh, bro?
Oh yeah. Look, I'm still buzzing about Across 24 Nights. It was great. Yeah, I'm looking
Fantastic,
forward to
fantastic.
the deluxe packages coming out in June. Should be awesome.
Speaking of upcoming shows, we're going to be back here today, you and I, with the Rock Professor, going
Yep.
through a ranking of the tracks. So, my gosh, we're certainly earning our 5 cents today, aren't we, bro?
Mate, you're working me like a dog this week, I can tell you. But
Well,
nah,
speaking of work, bro, I've got to sort of put you in into a position of care here. You've organised this guest that we've managed to get on the show, all through your hard work and through your contacts, and I certainly look forward to spending an hour and a half with Art. What do you reckon? Should we get him into the chat and you introduce him? What do you think?
yeah, I think we should pull Art Menezes in, and it's an amazing guitarist, vocalist, blues rock extraordinaire. We want to get him in. Pull him in, Andrew.
All right, hold on, bro. I better get him in. Here he is.
What's up? How you guys
Good
doing?
morning, afternoon, Art. How are you?
Is it morning there?
Yes, morning here. It's 9 o'clock here in Australia.
Oh, it's early.
Yeah,
Nice.
nice and early.
Nice.
9:02. How are you going, Art? Thanks for joining us.
Of course, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, look, for anyone who doesn't know who Art is, I was first introduced to Art through Instagram, actually, and I immediately became a fan of you, Art, through your music. I think you got a fantastic sound and everything that's going on with what you do. So thanks for joining us. And what strikes me, like, with your playing is how effortlessly you play the blues and the variations in different styles you incorporate into your playing. And then obviously once I saw your video for Fight for Your Love, I became hooked on your music, Art. So thank you for releasing this music. And I know you've got a new song out now called Change. And I encourage everyone after this interview to go and check it out on all streaming platforms.
Thank you for the
Yeah.
kind words. And so I've been playing. So the reason that you say that I play the blues without any effort, there is some effort. It's not,
Yeah, I get
but I know what you mean. But
Yeah,
the thing
it
is,
looks like
I've been listening the blues since I was, and I've been playing the blues since I was 12 years old.
yeah.
I actually started, so you guys from Australia, so I actually started at 3 years old listening to AC/DC, which is my favorite rock and roll band ever. The reason that I started doing that is because of my big brother. So when I was 3 years old, he was 10, and he bought his first album. I think it was High Voltage. I'm not sure if it was High Voltage. It was one of something from the 80s, or it was High Voltage, or it was Blow Up Your Video, something like completely opposite, but I just don't remember right now. But anyway, so after that, I just want to be like him. My mother, she's a singer, she sings Brazilian music, but when you have a big brother, you want to be like him. So I was emulating him. So I was listening AC/DC since I was 3 years old, and we have all the vinyls, everything that was released by AC/DC we have.
Yeah.
And my first guitar was an Epiphone SG, my own guitar, right? Because I started playing somebody else's guitar. But in the first solo I learned there was "You Shook Me All Night Long." And I learned. I remember learning with my brother's vinyl. So he wouldn't let me really do it because he was afraid I would scratch. So he would help me, and I was learning by ear. And then I remember that day that we had power outage. So we have no electricity. Suddenly something like that happened, and I had to stop. And I remember at that time I was living in a building with 15 floors. I was at the last floor, so we went downstairs without no elevator, of course. There was no power. Stayed there a little bit, talking. Power came back. We went back home, now with elevator, and then I finished the solo, and I learned the solo. It was the first solo. But yeah.
Awesome. Look, you've done some amazing things in your career so far, and before we go too far, Art, I'm just going to embarrass you and highlight a few things that I think everyone needs to know. You jammed with Buddy Guy at his Legends Club. You opened for Buddy Guy through South America in 2012.
Yeah.
Yeah, how was that experience?
It was amazing. It was really good because the year before I was in Chicago and I played with him in his club, the Buddy Guys Legends. They still have jam sessions on Mondays. So I actually was in Chicago in 2006 and 2007. Every Monday.
Andrew, I think we've got a bit of a lock
Okay,
up
we're
here.
back. I just lost
Are
you
you
guys
back?
for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, we're back.
Yeah,
We're
you
back.
guys hear me?
Yeah.
So every Monday I was there, 2006, 2007, and back in 2011 in Chicago. So in Chicago, my last day, I was actually supposed to go back to Brazil on a Tuesday morning. I went to Legends on the Monday night, and the guy that puts the jam together, Brother John, he came. It was or Brother John or Jimmy Burns. Every Monday. And so Brother John, he came to me and he said, "Hey, do you want anything special for today?" And I said, "No, just want to jam and have fun." And he said, "Okay, I think Buddy Guy is gonna jump on stage when you're playing." And I was like, "Okay." So he jumped on stage.
Wow. Sorry, you just dropped out there for a second, but that would have been quite an experience, no doubt. But there's a few other things, like you've been headlining festivals, you've jammed with Joe Satriani, which I'm sure everyone's seen that footage of that classic lick. You've got your guitar in your hands. Are you able to show us that lick? Do you remember that lick?
I
The one
have,
that-
yeah,
the
a
one
little,
The one
little
that Joe
bit.
made you play twice.
Something like that, right? I was like, something like that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I can see why Joe made you play that twice. That's quite footage. That's gold. Yeah, you must be really proud to have that footage.
Yeah. Thanks. He thinks we have that. It was a very special moment. Yeah. Joe
Yeah.
Satriani, he's a monster player. He's a gentleman. He's a very nice person, beautiful human being. He was very nice with me. Yeah.
And so obviously you've had the pleasure of winning like the Albert King Award for Best Guitarist. You've worked with Josh Smith. You were selected by Eric Clapton to perform at the Crossroads Guitar Festival in 2019. Joe, you've had Joe Bonamassa feature on one of your records. Do you still teach at the Music Institute of California? Do you still do that?
I do when I'm not traveling.
Right.
When I'm not traveling, I go on campus. Yeah, but I think it's been 2 quarters that I don't go there. Yeah, but I'm still there. I'm still an employee.
Do you,
Still getting paid.
Yeah.
So we're all massive Clapton freaks here on this channel. Did you actually get to meet Eric Clapton when you performed at the Crossroads Guitar Festival?
I did. He was so when we were backstage, he was like going to one side to another. It was a huge place. It was in Dallas, American Airlines Center. So he was going back and forth in a golf cart.
Yeah.
And and I don't like. I'm very shy. I don't like bothering people, even if I'm a fan or anything like that. But I thought, hey, it's Clapton. He's one of my heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say something. So I think it
Sure.
was like the 4th time as he was coming, I just jumped in front of the golf cart. I was like, wait.
Yeah.
And I say, hey, Clapton, I just want to say that you know, I'm a big fan. I'm playing here at the festival. I won this competition, and I just want to shake your hand." And he said, "Yeah, of course." And I shook his hand, and that's it.
Did you get some?
I know. I think he said something like "congratulations," something like that, and yeah,
Oh, that's lovely.
yeah.
Did you keep his DNA off your hand and put it somewhere?
No, actually, but yeah, yeah.
Look, you've toured the globe. You're playing your own music. I mean, that must be something that's, in my opinion, something that every artist aspires to do. So, congratulations on that. And you know, I'm sure you're at the very early ages of your career. You're going to just keep becoming this. Hopefully, at some point, you'll be the next Clapton.
I would love to, but yeah, there's only one. I mean, you guys know that. I know you're just saying to be nice, but there's only one Clapton. We all know that. But yeah,
you recently played the Dallas Guitar Festival,
yeah,
and the list goes on. We were just talking in the green room about new music that you've got coming out as well. Like I've already said to, and we've just spoken about your new single, Change. Do you want to just explain to everyone else what is coming out in June and what you're doing? If you're not frozen.
no, I heard what you're saying. We're talking about my new music. Yeah.
Yeah. So you've got some new music coming out in June. You've got a new single coming out in June. Unfortunately, we're battling with the technology here, keeps failing us. But Art, I was just saying, you've got a new single coming out in June.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna release. I'm releasing those singles through the Black Hill Records.
Yeah.
This is the first time that I got signed by a label. I did everything independently in the past. No, to be honest, I was in a label for my first album in Brazil back in 2009, my
Yeah.
first solo album. But yeah, but it's the first label in a while, and
Yeah.
the same label as The Cult, which is one band that I really like. I have the vinyl called Electric, which is
Yeah.
it's amazing. It has a lot of AC/DC influences. It's very riffy, the album. I love that band. I love that album. Jared James Nichols, he's a great player. He's with the same label too. Anyway,
Yep.
so we are releasing this project with them. So each month we're releasing a new single until we have the whole EP out, which is going to be September.
Beautiful. And you've got some tours coming up. You want to talk about those as well? Let people know where you're playing and what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm going to Brazil in 2 weeks, I believe. 2 weeks, 1 week and a half, to play this festival, which is called Best of Blues and Rock. It's going to be the 10th anniversary. I played there before in 2017 with my own band, and then at the end I jammed with Joe Satriani, so it was my band and Joe Satriani's band, and then he invited me to jump on stage. It was amazing. It was a beautiful experience, like you mentioned already. So I'm gonna play that festival again this year. It's gonna have I'm gonna be there. Then Buddy Guy, Extreme, Tom Morello, Steve Vai, other bands that I don't recall right now, but yeah. And then back to the US, a couple more tours around here. Then Europe for a month in October. So
Wow.
far, Netherlands, Germany, Belgium. What else? It's more countries I don't remember right now. It's still being booked, the
Oh, nice.
tour. Then back to the US, a couple more shows, and
Yep.
yeah,
Wonderful. You live in the dream, Art. You live in the dream.
kind of, yeah.
So obviously you spoke about your early influences being AC/DC, which I think you've mentioned that on other things, like especially on Instagram Live. I think you mentioned that once or twice. So you knew I was from Australia. So, but what are other things what are other artists that inspire you? I know Stevie Ray Vaughan's a big influence. Yeah.
Yeah, Stevie, Albert King, Albert Collins, B.B. King, Otis Rush, Freddie King, Johnny Winter, Clapton, Um, uh, the Delta guys like Robert Johnson and slide guys, Elmer James, T-Bone Walker, big influence too. Yeah, and then all the modern guys, all the traditional blues guys for sure, and then
Yeah.
some of the modern guys like Robin Ford, Matt Schofield, uh, even Josh that produced my albums. He was a big influence. I was listening to him for a while too, before
Yep.
moving to the U.S.
Yep.
Larry Cotton, and then things completely unrelated to blues like Django Reinhardt, gypsy jazz, and like some jazz stuff like Wes Montgomery, Charlie Parker, some Brazilian music too like Chico Buarque, samba, choro, music from northeast of Brazil. So artists like Luiz Gonzaga, which is from my region in Brazil, northeast. Um, yeah, and nowadays it's been actually, I would say 5 years that I don't listen to guitar players anymore. It's not that I don't like it, of course I like it, but I just listen to different stuff. I just listen to songs and singers and different styles, not only related to blues or rock.
Yep.
And of course, I missed a lot of players like Jeff Beck and like,
Yeah.
it's so many that I could mention. But yeah,
Well, look, say for example with Stevie Ray Vaughan, do you remember the first time you heard Stevie Ray? Like, I know I do. I remember the very first time I heard Stevie Ray and what it did to me. Do you remember hearing like Stevie Ray Vaughan and what did that do to you? Like when you first heard him, those big first few notes of a song that he would play, like say Texas Flood.
yeah,
Just
I
like,
remember. I remember it was the Texas Flood album
mm-hmm.
my brother brought home, and when I listened, he said something. Hey, listen to this, and then I start listening, and I was like, I don't like it.
Oh, wow.
And he said, why? And I said, it's not like AC/DC. It's too clean. It's not. Where's the distortion? What is this? Where is that? But then I got very uncomfortable with that, and I was like, why am I so uncomfortable by not liking that album? Why is I keep thinking about the album? So I don't know. Like next 2 days, I put the album again and I listened, and I was okay. I think yeah. So and then I, completely in love with it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't the first time that I heard the blues. It wasn't the first time. Yeah.
No. Well, it's one of those things. I think with everyone, the blues is something that through time it grows on you. It's not something that
Yeah.
you know you become a purist over time. You start to indulge in like say Albert King and all the traditional guys, as well as the what I call the family tree of your Claptons and then your Jeff Beck, like you said, and all the artists that you mentioned. But one important guy that we haven't mentioned yet is Jimi Hendrix. Does he inspire you as well? Obviously, I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
absolutely. A
Yeah,
lot, a lot. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. But the crazy thing about Stevie Ray, also, it's the second time. I mean, the first time I saw him, like him playing like a video, of course, not in person, like a video. Somebody borrowed me the VHS from the show live at. So yeah, so somebody brought me a VHS from the show live at Elmo Campbell,
yeah,
and I remember watching. I think at the time I would say I was like 13 years old, maybe 14, not sure. I, I watched that and I cried. And I cried. So I was like, and I was very confused because I never cried in my life, not related to pain, like to being hurt or, never. So it was the first time that I was like, oh, what is happening with me? I was like, and then I learned that show note by note, and I was jamming with the VHS all the time. I love that show. I love
yeah.
Stevie.
Yeah, Elmo Combo is intense. It's
Very
unbelievable.
intense. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, over the years, you've built like a really good or great online following and presence. I mean, do you think that's the way of the future? Art, like for artists, like even like for myself, Andrew, whoever is looking at becoming an artist and aspiring to what you do. Do you think the online presence thing is very important when it comes to say Instagram? You were very active on Instagram, especially through the pandemic. Is it something that you think's very important these days as a musician?
Unfortunately, it is. because it takes the joy out of it, because now you have to worry about posting and engaging. And of course I want to talk to my fans, of course I want to be available, I want to exchange, I want to learn. But when it becomes something that you have to do, and then it takes the joy out of it, and then instead of really writing songs or playing or jamming, you kind of like doing thing as a job, like because you have to do it. Of course, social media technology brings a lot of great things, like what we're doing right now wouldn't be possible in the past. But also, it makes a lot of things like not cool. Like I would say I'm getting old, so when I see younger players, and I see some friends about my age or older, they say, "Man, we are screwed. These younger players, they like, it's amazing what they're doing at the early age." And I agree, the technique aspect and everything. But on the other hand, everybody sounds about the same. Because I mean, not everybody. Sorry, I'm being very intense, but like. Yeah. It's hard to hear somebody with their own voice, because now we have everything like delivered to us. You're going on YouTube and you're going to learn a Stevie Ray Vaughan song. You're going to see somebody's going to tell you exactly where to put the fingers, exactly what to do, and what he was doing, what kind of, but at my age, and I think yours too, when you guys were learning, probably you'd have to go put the vinyl on, learn by ear, making mistakes or playing in different places, which makes you sound you. I think I think it'll be the same with Stevie Ray. I don't think Stevie Ray, of course, afterwards he saw Albert King, he met Albert King, they played together. But I think when Stevie was learning, maybe he didn't know that Albert King was playing upside down. I was bending like this. I was tuning this weird tuning like DAD, CFC, something like that, and playing super light strings and bending 2 whole steps. And Stevie, probably by ear, say, "Oh, I think Albert King is doing like."
Can I?
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Art?
Sure.
And it fits into what you're just mentioning. So I've got to be careful how I phrase this, because I don't want to come across disrespectful to anybody, because it's not about what we do here on this channel. But I think it's interesting that you should talk about these young cats coming through who are technically proficient. And YouTube and Instagram gives them that opportunity, that audience, to come across and play all these licks that probably I could only ever dream of playing when I was 13 or 14 years old.
Yeah, same.
I get that. But one thing, though, that personally I find a little bit unbalanced with that kind of performance is that lived experience that a musician, that a songwriter needs, to come across in their music, in his or her music. Now you mentioned Stevie Ray Vaughan. Stevie Ray Vaughan, he was at a young age, Brad, wasn't he, playing in clubs. He was learning and playing in clubs when he was 15 years old and 16 years old. He wasn't playing his craft in a basement at home and in front of an audience of 20,000 people on Instagram, if you understand what I mean. He was interacting. That interaction, I think, is crucial for us as musicians, guitar players, songwriters. How important is it for you as a songwriter, as a musician, to have that experience, that reality, that real experience? Is it something that you seek because you could get yourself confined into this Instagram world, Art?
Yes, I agree with everything you said. That experience to play for real people, like the real audience, it's incredible, because somehow there is some exchange of energy. I don't know how to explain. I don't know what your beliefs are, but there's something. Sure. There's something. And when you hear a guitar or a musician play next to you, or a real instrument, it's different when you hear from this or from your speakers. It's different. So I think it's very important. And expressing yourself on stage in an environment that it's not safe, because your home is safe. You know everything. You know everything. Yeah, so you don't take any risks. You don't have any challenges, because probably you have at first, but you don't have anymore. But when you perform live, you have to. It's very bold. So you have to go there. You have to show yourself, and in front of people that you don't know, you have to deal with different environments, and it's so interesting. And you're making music with real people around you, which is very important. That's connection is very important. But yeah, things are changing, and there's the good side, the bad side, and yeah.
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 I've always said social media and the things that you've got to do as a musician to engage with your followers is a blessing and a curse in some ways. But I try to always look at the good and think, well, at least that way you can get yourself exposed as a musician. Like for it's myself, for example, no one else would have heard my music if I didn't have social media. So
Correct.
and I haven't got a massive following like you are. It's just I've got a small following. I assume as it gets to a bigger following like yourself, it becomes harder and harder to engage personally with everyone. So you have to do it as a collective, which makes it you have to go and perform. That's the only way you can do it. To do it online is because you can't respond to every single DM you get. I mean, I don't know how many followers you've got on, say, Instagram, over 100,000, no doubt. And you must get lots of personal messages. You can't respond to every single person because you would consume your life. Because, you're here to play music and write songs and perform. And see, that's the curse side of it is you can't be there for everyone. It takes the mystique out of what you're doing as well, if that makes sense for me.
It does.
You want to be an artist, you want to go perform, you want people to see you on stage, and that's what you want people to remember you as, not someone that sits on the computer responding to DMs. It's a different world. Put it this way, Led Zeppelin would never have wanted to respond to DMs on Instagram because the mystique of the band was, we're dark, we're mysterious, we're going to keep it that way. AC/DC, for example, they wouldn't have done it. They would have said, see you at the pub for a gig. But anyway, I'm glad you answered that really well, and it's food for thought for any musician that's watching. I want to talk about gear a little bit, because I absolutely love your tone. The things that you do. You've had some amazing guitars in your possession. Is there some that you wish you hadn't let go of? Is there some that you still own that you think is the most amazing guitar you've ever had? This is something that we like to geek out on this channel. So, because everyone here loves guitar. So, So what's the Strat you've got there? That's a Fender Custom Shop Strat that you've, I think you've showed once or twice on the channel, on Instagram. Yeah. Sorry, you there, Art?
Yeah, no, I got your question. So there's one guitar that I regret selling it. It was my first guitar. Not because I like the guitar is amazing or anything like that, but just because it has sentimental value.
Sure.
So I think about 3 years ago when I went back to my hometown visiting, I think I went to play some shows too. I started So when I was back to my hometown about 3 years ago, I started this campaign to try to find my first guitar. Even the newspapers, they posted about it and they helped me a lot. But I don't know what that guitar is. I don't know what that guitar is. But yeah, so I regret selling that one. If we're talking about a guitar that I wish I had, but I would say a vintage Strat from 60 to like a pre-CBS, rosewood neck. That would be my dream guitar. Yeah.
So what's that guitar you've got there, Art? That's your Fender Custom Shop.
Yeah, this is a custom shop that the guys at Fender they gave me. It was Ron Thorne he put together. So he told me, because when I opened the guitar, I like tweaking the guitars, changing pickups. So when I opened, there was a bunch of signs and stuff, and I asked, "Hey, Ron, what is this? What these signs mean? These letters and this?" He said, "Don't worry. This guitar is like a Frankenstein master built guitar, but it's not official master build. But it was something that I put together for you with some stuff we have ready that I think you'd like. So he said it's more special than a custom shop, and the guitar sounds great. But I always like changing the guitars because it doesn't matter how great they sound, but if they need to sound like you, right?
Yeah.
So I change it. So I change it pickups. I have the same ones not same models, but same ones you had, like Joel's.
The JW
yeah.
restorations, yeah.
Yeah. So he made me like a bunch of back and forths. All of them, they were great, but just because I'm very picky and he likes also like, he enjoys that kind of work. So yeah, send me back. What do you want to change? And then finally I ended up with this that I have right now. And I love it. It's great.
Joel's amazing. And thank you. I'll personally.
Yeah, Joel's amazing.
Thank you for putting me on to Joel. Because I managed to get those pickups for my Stratocaster, and they're unbelievable. Yeah. So thank you for putting me on to Joel.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. And I know you've got. I love that green V you've got. Do you still own that guitar?
I do. That's how I started this relationship with Joel. So he started following me during the pandemic because I was doing those live streams and talking about music, about life.
Beautiful. And you've got a really gorgeous Les Paul.
So yeah, that's okay. We're back. Is it usually like this, or maybe it's my connection that it's like being super bad today?
No, we don't normally have too many issues. I think it might be your end, but that's okay. We'll soldier on.
So it's my fault.
No, it's fine. We appreciate you coming on regardless.
But anyway,
on.
I was saying that's how. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like that's how I started my relationship with Joel. Was during the pandemic. I was doing those live streams. I was like everybody else at home most of the time, and I started doing these things. And one day he wrote me and said, "Hey, buddy, I really like your playing, but now you're playing." I lost you guys again.
That's good.
Anyway, he said, I really like your playing, but not only your playing, I like the way you think music, the way you talk about life. Whatever I can do to help, let me know. And I knew him already, right?
Yeah.
Brad, should we get Art
Anyway,
to
I just
jump
told
off?
him that I really like his pickups. Yeah.
We might get you to jump off and jump back on again, because sometimes that might work. So we'll get you to exit the studio and then come back on. Can we try that?
Yes, of course. Yeah, just a second.
Fantastic. Let's try that.
Yeah.
What an interesting guy, bro.
Yeah. No, fantastic. Very inspirational. Very inspirational. Hopefully this will help the connection.
Yeah, I got to say, I was made aware of the guy in 2019 when that Crossroads gig came out, and it's like, and I put the link to his channel here on this on the feed here, but as usual, bro, we'll go through and we'll attach all those to the description for people to go and check out.
Yeah.
He's playing a Les Paul at that gig, bro.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to. There he is. Back.
Let's try this out.
Cool.
So I just mentioned that you had a lovely looking Les Paul that sounds fantastic. You still got that guitar, I hope?
I do. Same thing, Joel's pickups. Yeah. I still
Wow.
have it.
Yeah. That guitar sounds phenomenal. And there's something about a Les Paul that they either got a very beautiful growl, like a low mid growl, and it seems that guitar, it's got a lot of clarity. Is it? You reckon it's the pickups you put in it, Artur? Or?
Pickups. Yeah, I mean the guitar, of course, is amazing. Gibson, they sent me that guitar. It's a Murphy Lab, 59, super expensive guitar. I was very happy when they sent me. I was, thank you so much. And of course the guitar was great, but it wasn't great to my taste. So Joel wrote me, hey, if you ever need pickups for that new Les Paul you have there, let me know. And I said, Actually, yes. And then
And
he,
you do all the pickup changes yourself, I'm assuming. So
yeah,
you do all the pickup changes yourself and work on all the guitars yourself.
yeah, I do everything by myself. Yeah.
Oh, that's great. Um, Look, there's something that about your technique, and I spoke about it earlier. Being looks like it's effortless, and your vibrato with your guitar playing. Is there stuff that you do to practice your vibrato techniques? You there?
Yeah.
Is there something you do with your
Yeah, yeah.
vibrato,
Mhm.
your techniques? Do you practice vibrato very often? Because it looks like it's so effortless when you play your vibratos. An intriguing question that we've lost him. Damn technology, Andrew.
It's his internet connection. So
Yeah.
what we might do is we might just hang around for another 5 minutes and see what happens. Otherwise, we might just have to schedule another show with Art because, yeah, he's jumped out. So hopefully he'll come back in.
Yeah.
We
Look,
got to get that pickup manufacturer on the show, bro.
Joel, yeah, I actually thought about that. I'm teaming up with a few people in the background to get
Yeah.
them on, and Joel's one of them. So, yeah, but I encourage everyone, if you haven't checked out Art before, please do so. Go and we'll attach all of his links on all your streaming platforms. Just go there, check out his new song, give him lots of love. He's back. He's back.
Hey, Art.
We'll try. We'll try again. I don't know how much of what.
Before we starting, you guys said you don't need to say sorry. Don't say sorry, but I have to say sorry. It's maybe it's my internet here. Sorry about that.
That's all right. We're enjoying it, and thank you again for coming on. But I don't know if how much of the question you heard before when you're dropping in and out. I was just saying you've got your vibrato. Um, it looks effortless. I know you put a lot of energy and time into your playing, but is there any techniques that you use to practice your vibrato, or you just sit there and utilize your vibrato and it's just natural for you? Because your vibrato is pretty amazing.
Thank you. I think it was just about copying the vibratos I like.
Yeah.
Just came from that.
So it's just sitting there playing, like practicing and listening to players that inspire you and just trying to mimic their like you said with the needle on the record.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. I was just saying it comes from copying. Just
Yeah.
copying the players I like, learning from them. Just
Yeah.
like language, just like vocabulary. You learn, as a kid, then you go learning as a baby, and then kid, and then studying, practicing, and then you create your own accent, your own tone.
Yeah. I think we've lost him. There's just a couple more questions I want to ask you. Just with say for example, you're a fuzz player. You love fuzz with your tone, the way you play. Do you apply it the same way with single coil pickups to humbucking? Because I know with the Les Paul, you use the humbucking guitar with the fuzz as well, and it sounds phenomenal the way you do it. Damn it!
Yeah, damn it. I had a couple of Zoom meetings yesterday with a bunch of people. Was working perfectly. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on.
That's all right. You there? Yeah. So I was just saying, you're a fuzz player. So do you apply your fuzz the same to single coil as you do humbucking? So, for example, when you're playing your Les Paul, you apply the fuzz the same way. He's back. Yeah, that's all right. Fuzz, you apply it the same way for your Strat to your Les
Oh
Paul.
wow.
Should we reschedule, bro, and come back and do part 2 maybe next week? And what do you reckon, Art?
Can I try something different here just for a second?
Please do.
Sure.
Please do. If there's something that you can do.
Yeah.
Also,
Let me see if this is gonna make any sense. So, the camera is gonna lose quality, but
it's okay. It's okay. You do that while you're getting that organised. I'll do a quick shout out. Johnny Hypebreaker is here. John ZD351. Okay. Are you back?
yeah. So
Okay.
Let's try that.
is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
No.
Damn it. You're back.
Yeah. It's
That's
just
good.
like
It's all good, Art. We can see you and hear you clearly now. Yeah. Art, you there? If you like, Art, we can do it another day if it makes it easier for you.
Yeah, he's frozen, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do a quick shout out because we may end the show and come back maybe next week or something like that when Art's got his internet sorted. Ellen, thank you for hanging out with us. Holly, John, ZD351, Johnny Heartbreaker, you guys are awesome. How do I pronounce that? Jayha guitarist?
Yeah. I would pronounce it that.
Thank you for
Yep.
joining us, Jayha. Please subscribe to our channel while you're here, and we'll subscribe back to your channel. I think that's about it, bro. I think we got most of the people. Shall we keep this video up?
Yeah.
Well, shall we keep it up on the? Okay, we'll keep it up on the channel.
There was some good content there. They were great for people to, hear and actually, inspire. So if anyone wants to, please go and check out Artur's music and do us all a favor and subscribe to his channel. And he's an amazing. And I know we've got a lot of Brazilian fans that check out our channel, Andrew.
Yes.
So, you feel like you're at home. You've got a Brazilian guitarist coming back to Brazil, playing some festivals soon. So please go and check out Art. And he's a lovely guy, as you can see. And we really, we're spewing, but that Art is connections on and off. But we're glad that we had him on, Andrew.
Yeah. Well, we've got to start somewhere, and that's what it's about. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we've had those same issues when we first started this channel. When we first went live, there was chaos and mayhem. The first time I interviewed you, bro, it was bad. Chaos and mayhem. Yeah.
Yes, I had a horrible connection for a while there, and I think we did one of the Van Halen shows that you did, Andrew, or something like that. I was trying to come on for about 5 hours. It was driving. I nearly punched holes in walls and all sorts of stuff trying to get connected. So it can be very frustrating.
That's right, because then you found out half your neighbourhood were tapped into your internet connection, didn't you?
That's right. Yes, I know. But there's something quite special about Art. So please go and check out his music, and I'm sure at some point we'll get him back on and continue chatting. I want to geek out with him a little bit about gear and things like that. So, which is stuff we didn't quite get to right now. But we got to, going over a lot of what he's achieved and things like that. So it was good, Andrew.
No, I appreciate it, bro. And I appreciate the fact that you're touching base with these guys. And, and it's that same type of music, that we all grew up with and we all loved. And, the question I want to ask Art, and if Art is watching, I want to know, here he is. We're going to give it one last chance. Art. How's it going?
I agree. Yeah, let's try one more time. I'm sorry
Long
about that.
time no see, bro.
Yeah, long time no see.
I want to ask you one question because I was going to ask this question and leave it for you if you were going to come back. So, on this channel, we talk about the British electric blues, how these British guys grabbed this music form from the south of America and transformed it and made it their own and gave it back to America. You, as a Brazilian, as a born Brazilian speaking Portuguese, discovering this music, how has this music influenced you, and how have you presented this music, this art form, back to Americans, being a Brazilian?
So for me, the blues, it was a coincidence. I used to live close to a live close to a radio station, and we used to get interference from the radio at home. So one day I was jamming with AC/DC, which is already very bluesy, but at that time I didn't know. So that music started coming from my speakers, from the interference of the radio. I started jamming with it. It felt good. And I said, oh, this is good. The radio host, he said the number of the radio phone number. I called, say, hey, what is this? And he said, this is a blues show. And I said, what's blues? And then he explained to me it wasn't special about John Lee Hooker. And then from there, I started the blues. It was just something that it was very natural to me. I've always been playing the blues since I was young. And I think because I have everyone has different backgrounds. So you guys have different backgrounds there. So probably the way that you play the blues is going to be different the way that I play the blues. And especially a style that it has a lot to do with feelings, right?
Sure.
With your touch, the way you feel, the way you approach. So not only the fact that I'm Brazilian, but the fact that I'm from northeast of Brazil, which is not samba, it's not bossa nova, it's all that thing going on. And I love samba and bossa nova too, if it's the traditional, I like to. But northeast of Brazil, we have different music going on there, which is similar to blues, in my opinion. And yeah, so I think when I play the blues, I bring that heritage, that Brazilian northeast heritage, but also my experiences in life, my struggles, the fact that I come to live in a country and I'm an immigrant and having to come here and start everything from scratch. And, so those things, they bring that mojo together to your music,
Amazing.
I think that's why, so one more thing, I think that's why, let's say people from big cities, like busy cities, they play faster, or than people that live close to the beach or to the mountains, they more laid back, because that affects your playing too.
The energy that comes through in your music is representative of where you live and the upbringing and the background of things that happen. So it makes a lot of sense. I think that answers your question pretty well, Andrew.
Yeah. I didn't know too. I was going to make the connection about, the Brazilian beats and, how it's famous for the samba and all that. So you've answered that too, So you come from a part of Brazil where that's not quite the central part of, the Brazilian music scene where you are. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a question I asked earlier when we kept dropping in and out, but one of the things I asked was, like, you're a fuzz player and how you apply your fuzz to like a single coil guitar like a Strat as opposed to a humbucking guitar like a Les Paul.
Yeah, we had a good run now. It was 5 minutes without interruptions. It was good. So you were saying about the Les Paul?
Yeah, when you're playing with a fuzz, for example, do you use it differently with a Les Paul as opposed to a Strat? Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I was saying that we had a good run, 5 minutes without interruption. So
this question, for some reason, wants to drop out. So maybe I shouldn't ask. But yeah, he's dropped out there. Yeah, the fuzz. You're a fuzz player, so applying it to a Les Paul as opposed to a Strat. I think, Andrew, I should stop asking that question.
Bro, I think I think honestly we've given it a good crack. We might get Art on to say
Farewell.
maybe cheerio, and we'll come back. We'll make another time to come back, and we can start all over again. What do you reckon, Art?
The interesting thing, I don't think it's the internet, because the StreamYard is like closing. It's something to do with the app, I guess.
Right. Are you okay? Yeah, I think maybe could be something to do with that. But what we'll do is we'll finish up. I don't know if you want to say anything to close, but thank you for joining us, Art. We really appreciate you struggling through this, and we're limping a little bit, but thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for joining us.
Oh well. Everybody thinks it's funny. It's got to be. It's got to be. No smashing walls.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Art. Thanks.
Thank you, and I'm sorry.
We'll make a date. Probably next weekend we're booked on the channel. Maybe the weekend after, Art. Maybe the weekend after in 2 weeks' time. What do you reckon?
I'll be in Brazil, so maybe. But let me play something with first. Just to say goodbye.
Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Art.
Wow.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
All right, guys. Stick around for a sec, Art.